There's this large misconception about purpose. There is something to be found. How to find your purpose? But purpose is not found, it's identified as well as accepted. Every single one of you know exactly what your purpose is, but you are yet to accept it as your purpose. We've all heard this saying, find something you love doing, but the chances of you accepting that activity you derive pleasure in is your purpose is abysmal, because one of the chiefest reasons we want to identify our purpose, yes, you have some kind of meaning, or it's an activity you love doing, or you genuinely want to make a contribution as touching society, but I'll say a huge percentile goes to financial achievement. So an activity you love doing, you are yet to see the financial correlation from that activity to your bank account. That's the demotivating factor. That's why you are yet to accept that activity. Plus, you lack courage. Courage is not the absence of fear, it's doing the thing regardless of the emotion. Courage to believe that activity can yield dividends. Also, courage to submit yourself to the disciplines that makes for mastery. Imagine how a comedian trains, cracking jokes, laughing all by himself, day after day, days turn into weeks, weeks turn into months, months into years, months and days of wondering whether their friends are actually feeling the joke or they're just trying to be nice. You go through a lot of emotional cyclone in that experience, but it's a good thing. Failure means there's motion. Failure means you have transited from your comfort zone. You see, it's the process that shapes us. It's the process that makes us become the kind of individual that can host the magnitude of what you desire. One of the ways you align or you gravitate towards your purpose is to find activity that makes you angry. Not activity, or find things that you're genuinely pissed off about. I knew a guy when he was 14, he used to be very annoyed when he see beggars or people who lacked help. He had no idea that he would go on to become some big philanthropist, a businessman who transited to philanthropist, building one of the largest orphanage center here in Africa. For me, at the infancy of my career, it was ignorance. If I see people who displayed all shades of childishness or have some inaccurate beliefs that isn't consistent with the modus operandi that makes for a successful being, it used to piss me off. That became the inception of this YouTube channel. I was in a bus one time years ago, too big now, in a bus, and there was this guy I met. I wouldn't say meet, or there was this passenger who rode alongside. Over the course of the journey, I would see him make stupid advances to a lady at the front. Like, hello, hello, hi. The girl half responds because he looks like a fucking dog. Hello. She asked person, can you come to my house? And it blew my mind immediately that you would meet someone for the first time and instantly you ask or you invite the person to your house. That mindset is not just stupid, but is usually found in pornographic consumers. You know how it begins. The guy comes in, the lady comes in, and It's so good to be true. So those porn consumers carry that same mentality towards life, believing every single person is an actress and will blindly follow them to their apartment. Which is dumb as hell. So it's mind blowing. That anomaly bettered this YouTube channel. So that's one. So find activity that pisses you off. The same thing with Moses. According to Bible history, the Bible said he was angry, 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 that he was disturbed. He left all the finding, all the riches in Egypt, and he went down to save an Israelite, smited the Egyptian. Yes, we knew it was some big plan, but at the end of the day, that activity would then stem up to be something that would lead up to his purpose, being the deliverance of the Israelites. Yes, the strategy used was wrong, but the purpose was raw. So find activities that pisses you off and you might be interested enough to try and solve that problem. For some of you, it's hairline. You see some fucked up hairline and you truly believe that you can restore. For some, it's cooking. For some, it's maybe negotiation. Maybe you're a great salesman. And the problem with all of these talents I just mentioned is you do not believe, as I initially stated, that dividends can yield out of this gifting because you are familiar, and familiarity breeds contempt. The first man who saw a camel fled. The second veered within distance. The third dared slip a house on his head. So familiarity in this existence makes every single thing tame. So that which might seem bizarre becomes commonplace when our eyes have been given time to acclimatize. Take your talent seriously. That's the first one. Anger, activities that pisses you off deep down in your soul. The second is flow. It's a Japanese term meaning activity that once immersed in, you have no concept of time and space. Activities that once you're doing, you are so excited that even though you don't get paid, you lose the concept of time. You just want to be on this activity. You forget about hunger. That's the kind of activity that is a subtle indicator of your purpose. Some of you is journaling, some of you is writing a blog post, some of you is recording content, for some of you, it's coding. You find such immense pleasure in all of this activity. The pitfall, as I initially stated, would be the absence of the financial correlation in this activity. To solve the problem, believe that finances, believe that dividends can stem out from this product, can stem out from that activity. Another indicator is through imitation. You see someone on the internet doing something and it excites you. You are living vicariously through that individual. One of the reasons most men watches Smash and Pass, because I guarantee you it, 80% of the viewers are men, is because they're living vicariously through that one guy who's smooth with it, smooth with interaction, confident, and they see themselves in that man. So we extrapolate this concept and apply it to giftings and purpose. Perhaps you see some podcaster and it inspires you whenever he asks an insightful question. You are inspired, something deep down in your soul. It excites you. That's an indicator of purpose. It's deep, calling on too deep. For some, it could be recording. You see me with my flawless communication and broad intellect. It inspires you to want to replicate this result. That is an indication of purpose. Go for it. Go for it. And this message would not be complete if I don't teach you this last one. Courage. All of this activity, absence of courage, cancels everything out. You can know your purpose, you can find the activity, you can see the individual you live vicariously to. But if you lack the courage to go after it, you're never going to achieve. In fact, let me share the story with you. If you don't go after it, you lack the stories of pain and suffering. As men, we all want to share of how we went on this arduous journey on how to slay the dragon, and we are telling the story. Perhaps with dog, and he poured fire on me, and I went through the shell, and you're with scars from battle. You don't want to be that guy at the end of the journey. Grandpa, how did you spend your 20s? I tried to stop jerking off Pornhub. I was facing this addiction. What? You can't be motivated enough to try and escape and retire your whole bloodline. I was depressed. You were depressed? What is wrong with these people? Do not be that guy who at the end of the day, at the end of the road, he regrets not starting that business. He regrets not exercising. He regrets not spending time with family. He regrets not establishing relationship. Do not be that guy. As always, my friends, pleasure speaking to you. See you in the next one.